Thus, the 80s and 90s saw bursts of labor insurrection, more organized than the spontaneous strikes of 1877. There were now revolutionary movements influencing labor struggles, the ideas of socialism affecting labor leaders. Radical literature was appearing, speaking of fundamental changes, of new possibilities for living. In the same period, those who worked on the land, farmers, North and South, black and white, were going far beyond the scattered tenant protests of the pre-Civil War years and creating the greatest movement of agrarian rebellion the country had ever seen. Hamlin Garland, who made so many Americans aware of the life of the farmer, wrote in the preface to his novel Jason Edwards, "Free land is gone. The last acre of available farmland has now been passed into private or corporate hands." Between 1860 and 1910, the U.S. Army, wiping out the Indian villages of the Great Plains, paved the way for the railroads to move in and take the best land. Then the farmers came for what was left. From 1860 to 1900, the population of the U.S. grew from 31 million to 75 million. Now 20 million people lived west of the Mississippi, and the number of farms grew from 2 million to 6 million. With the crowded cities of the East needing food, the internal market for food was more than doubled. 82% of the farm produce was sold inside of the United States. Farming became mechanized. Steel plows, mowing machines, reapers, harvesters, improved cotton gins. Land cost money and machines cost money, so farmers had to borrow, hoping that the prices of their harvests would stay high so they could pay the bank for the loan, the railroad for transportation, the grain merchant for handling their grain, the storage elevator for storing it. But they found the prices for their produce going down and the prices of transportation and loans going up because the individual farmer could not control the price of his grain, while the monopolist railroad and monopolist banker could charge what they liked. The government played its part in helping the bankers and hurting the farmers. It kept the amount of money based on the gold supply steady while the population rose, so there was less and less money in circulation. The farmer had to pay off his debts in dollars that were harder to get. The bankers, getting the loans back, were getting the dollars worth more than when they loaned them out, a kind of interest on top of interest. That is why so much of the talk of farmers' movements in those days had to do with putting more money in circulation by printing greenbacks or by making silver a basis for issuing money. The farmer would owe more money every year until finally his farm was taken away and he became a tenant.